Welcome everyone, and welcome everyone in the audience. And would you like to start by introducing yourself and what you do in the organisation?
So I'm Chris Tunningley at Leeds College of Building, Assistant Principal for Adults and Higher Education.
I'm Rob Smith, the Apprenticeship Manager at Leeds College of Building.
Hello, my name's Peter Dawson. I'm the Contracts Manager for John Sisk & Son. I operate in and around Yorkshire.
Daniel Rigby, I'm the Learning and Development Business Partner for GMI Construction.
Hi, Gemma Carmody, Regional Director for Civil Engineering Contractors Association in Yorkshire and the Humber.
Lovely. And what does an apprentice bring to your organisation? Because you've all got apprentices in your organisations, range different numbers and doing all kinds of different jobs, I'm sure. And yeah, what do they bring to your organisation?
Speaking personally, which is probably the only thing I can do, they bring energy, they bring a bit of excitement, they bring a fresh way of looking at things, and also they bring out the best in the people around them. That helps mentor them. It's amazing how people who you think are quite reserved will open up and help with an apprentice and share knowledge. So it develops the people around them as well as themselves, and it's really good to see. It's excellent.
Yeah, I very much agree with that. You know, you get your apprentices in, working with those existing members of staff who, you know, it's pushing them both ways. So you've got the mentorship there, you've got those with experience who can then pass on that knowledge. But then you've got the apprentices coming in going, well, why do we do it that way? And we consider challenging the norm, and actually it brings the best out of both partnerships. And that's where I think apprenticeships really play a role in the industry.
So I work for a trade federation of construction and civils companies. So we're trying to encourage as many people as possible to look at apprenticeships as well as other routes into the industry. So, for example, Sisk, one of our member companies, and I think all our members are trying to get that embedded knowledge and experience of young people. So not only the learning that you're learning in college and out there, but the learning that you're having on site, the learning that you're having in the office, that camaraderie, that building experience, whilst you're also building on that educational base as well. I think it's really important.
So from a college perspective, apprenticeships, we do have apprenticeships within college, but what I've always enjoyed is what an apprentice brings to the workplace. I was lucky enough for 10 years to be able to go on site on some massive construction sites and see apprentices in action. And sit down with a massive amount of different employers and ask them about their apprentice and how they were progressing. What, as you said, what an apprentice brings to the workplace, the challenge, the work that the processes and procedures that are in place, they question it, and there's an awful lot of new energy that comes from apprentices coming through. And we see that all the time as a college, and we try to work with that and harness that as much as we possibly can.
Just to add to that, from a college point of view, the apprenticeships we do from level 2 right up to level 6, it's an alternative to university as well. It's an alternative to A levels. You're getting paid, you're getting loads of experience, and you're getting the qualifications as well. So the same qualifications you get as you did full time, you get through an apprenticeship. It's an excellent route. There's no debt at the end of it. A lot of these companies will support you right up to level 6. So level 3, then a level 4, then a level 6 apprenticeship's an excellent route.
Why would you suggest that someone chooses an apprenticeship to get into the sector rather than one of these other routes?
As Chris was just saying, it's earn while you learn is probably one of the cliches that springs to mind. Not only are you getting paid to learn a qualification that you could potentially go and do somewhere full time, the apprenticeship brings the experience of doing that. And what I'm seeing more and more in industry are young apprentices who may have achieved a level 3, for example, and they're supervising potentially university graduates who are coming into other businesses, because the apprentice has that grounding, almost like the boots on the ground, to give it another cliche. They have that experience and they have that knowledge, and they become a real asset to the business.
Yeah, I was just going to say about choosing an apprenticeship and the reasons why you'd go into it. When you're choosing an apprenticeship, you're choosing a career. So my advice would be to research that career. If you go on YouTube, a day in the life of a quantity surveyor, a day in the life of a civil engineer, and make sure you research the companies you go into as well. Apply for as many as you like, and apply for full-time courses as well. Apply for full-time courses as well, because if you're not successful getting an apprenticeship the first time, if you're on a full-time course, then you can get that on your CV, and that stands you in real good stead when you apply to these companies. It's going to look really good on your CV. It's also possible to start a full-time course, certainly in construction at Leeds College building, and transfer seamlessly into an apprenticeship. So if you start a 2-year full-time course, if you find an apprenticeship in the first 6 months, then you can jump on to the apprenticeship seamlessly. So it's get those two options on the table, really, full-time and looking for an apprenticeship.
I think another aspect is how the learning has real meaning if you're on site. And speaking as somebody who just went to university, because I was brought up in the Victorian era, it was very theoretical. And it wasn't until I started work on site that I started plotting back to, oh yeah, this is what they were talking about. And it's maybe 2-3 years earlier, and I could have forgotten it all, or, missed that lecture or whatever happened. So having 4 days on site, 1 day at college, you can just knit it all together. And I think that's a real benefit. And, when I talk to apprentices, they light up when they go, oh, we were doing this today or yesterday. And it applies to that bridge, or it applies to that pipe or that sewer or something. So it's not just the financial side, and it's a very good point. But I think the learning becomes a lot more real.
Yeah, I agree with everything that's kind of been said so far. For me, apprenticeship is a great opportunity to kind of get your toes in the water, so to speak, and kind of see where that career can take you. But it's really important you do that upfront bit. One of the things I always talk about down on the floor at the moment as well is actually ring a company up and say, can I come and do a bit of work experience? Give us a call, come on site for a day or two, experience what it actually means to be on site. Whether that's the QS role, the site manager role, pick up a trade. These guys out there, they're happy to offer experience because they want to make sure you're right for the role as much as we're right for you as well. And then talking on to what you were saying about, don't cut your options out. So, if you apply for apprenticeships, but also the full-time courses, the company I work for, we've transitioned a number of full-time students into part-time courses onto the apprenticeships, and it works out really well. They get that kind of initial kind of steep learning curve through the university. Then a year in, 2 years in, they're ready to transition into that role. So it's definitely an opportunity, and keep both avenues open to you.
I think it gives people the opportunity as well, once you get into a business on an apprenticeship, to then find what part of that business, what part of that industry you're passionate about as well. Because it might be that all of a sudden you're in a business and you realise that the design route or the quantity surveying route, or actually it's the site side of things that I really enjoy. And quite often businesses can then help to tailor that apprenticeship and the experience that you get along with what you're passionate about and what you're interested in on site as well, rather than coming out of perhaps university and into a role and not understanding how that fits into business and boots on the ground, as we've said.
I'd love to ask a question. So apprentices at the moment will be managers, leaders, they'll be leading teams, they'll be setting plans and designing strategies in the future. How do you think some of the emerging topics of the day right now are going to be steered by apprentices in the future, or graduating apprentices in the future? Such as, for example, the climate change agenda or decarbonisation, all that kind of thing.
I think most colleges, all courses that you're looking at now, we're looking at digital skills, we're looking at the new ways of designing, of engineering, of building, and of maintaining what's being built as well. So everyone is now looking at, it's not just about building something and moving on. We've got to look at the legacy, what we're leaving behind, how we're going to manage that and maintain that in the future, and the sustainability of it going forward as well. All clients, everyone's talking about net zero, everyone's talking about sustainability in the environment. So it's a key part now, I think, of not only what's being taught in college, but what people will be learning out on site and in the field and picking up around businesses as well.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, I agree with the technology side to that. Go back probably 10, 15 years or so, it was very much paper and pen working around the buildings. We've got site managers walking around buildings now with mobiles, with apps on those devices, doing a good chunk of their work, from quality to checking on costs and ordering equipment and materials. And one of the things I've kind of noticed over the years is the apprentices coming in who are very tech savvy and helping a lot of the more experienced generation adapt to technology and help them through that change journey. So once again, it goes back to what we were saying earlier. There's a two-way relationship here. The apprentices will learn the experience, but they also bring in kind of new ways of working, and technology is really playing a part in that as we move forwards.
Yeah, the big push within our business is off-site construction, modern methods of construction, which pulls all these elements together. Everything's digitally designed. As much part of the construction phase is done in a controlled environment where it can be wastage is minimised, so that helps with the net zero, where safety is increased because you're not putting people at risk. So that's a big push within the industry, especially in construction with high rise and all the challenges they are with small footprints and tight timescales. So that's the big push. That's where construction is going.
As far as the curriculum goes, there's already quite a bit of sustainability and green skills materials you use in construction. That's all coming in, and it's going to get the legislation's probably going to get more strict, and companies are going to, and the jobs are going to change. We talk about green jobs. I'm not sure what that means. I think an electrician will still be an electrician, but they'll be working on technology that is considered green and sustainable. So that's definitely coming into the curriculum.
I think just to sort of add to that, it has been within qualifications for a while as green. We're getting greener. We as a college want to make sure that the next generation of apprentices, the next generation of students who become part of the construction workforce have got those skills and that they are useful to the businesses and that technology matches. The qualifications don't always work. They don't come out as quickly as industry is changing, but we're doing our best to be right at the forefront as much as we possibly can for the employers that we work with.
Great, thank you. Shall we take some questions from the audience? Does anybody have any questions for the panel? Go on. Oh yeah, you'll get a stampede. Yeah.
Can I just... sorry.
Do you want to ask the question anyway? Because you don't have a question? Okay. Does anybody else have a question?
Add something about a course? So you might, if you come to Leeds College building stand, you'll see T-levels. And T-levels are a new course that run alongside A-levels, and you get 9 weeks work experience with those courses. And what we're finding is a lot of employers are using that as a long apprenticeship or a long interview. So when you've worked with somebody for 9 weeks, you know that quite often the employer will take them on. So T-levels are a good option.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Just on the note regarding T-levels, are there ample opportunities for people to actually access them and then use them as not a stepping stone, but a way to progress on to higher level apprenticeships?
So the one we run at the minute is design, surveying and planning, and that's a level 3 T-level. It's to get 9 weeks work experience and get all the employers. It's a definite challenge. We've only got one group at the minute. We're going to 2 groups next year. But the next level, if they've got an apprenticeship, would be a level 4 apprenticeship in quantity surveying, civil engineering and so on. So yeah, they do.
Any more questions?
Can I ask for you to share with us for young people who might be about to start an apprenticeship, already started an apprenticeship, in terms of the additional learning that they might need to do in green skills or sustainable skills? How do you see that working in the immediate future where qualifications are still waiting to be developed or new apprenticeship standards?
Try and answer that one. Yeah, it's moving fast. I mean, we're quite lucky at Leeds College building because all the lecturers are from industry. So they're all experienced, they're all driven, and they're looking for these new technologies themselves. So materials, on-site, we teach off-site manufacturing, for instance. We teach about renewables. So we try and embed as much as we possibly can. Over the next decade or two, job roles are going to change significantly with climate change. So the curriculum will have to change. The new HTQs that are coming out in September have a digital mandatory unit now, which they haven't been before. So you can see how that's changing. So the digital skills and the environmental sustainability skills are huge, really. But they tend to be embedded in jobs already. So, you won't get, I've said electrician, you're not going to get a green electrician opposed to a non-green electrician. They're going to be just working with that type of technology that comes out. And I think what's going to drive industry is central government and legislation changing that will drive companies to change the way they work, which will then feed into our curriculum and what we teach for the future.
I think it's probably one of the benefits of being in an apprenticeship as well, is that if you're in an employer and you're in that industry, you're going to be witnessing that change as it happens, and you're going to be brought along with that business as they are changing to meet legislation, to meet clients' needs. You're going to be brought along on that process with them, as opposed to perhaps if you're purely studying full time, then you are kind of a bit more, waiting for the qualifications and things to catch up a little bit. If you are in an apprenticeship with an employer, then you are being brought along on that journey with them as well.
Any other questions from the floor? I'm wondering. Oh, yeah. Go for it.
Well, I understand there's been some sport news today, but let's not talk about that. Can you tell us a bit about progression and career development opportunities within the sector, or particularly the two businesses, GMI and Sisk, who are here today?
Yeah, it's a really good point and something I was discussing downstairs. Once you've finished your apprenticeship within John Sisk and I presume GMI, we sort of pride ourselves on not curtailing anybody's growth. So you're not pigeonholed that you did this degree, you'll do this. There's so many different opportunities within the business, whether it's the advertising side or temporary works design or work winning or environmental. And if that's something you find yourself more interested in or planning, or, the list goes on. We're very sort of liquid and mobile, that we can put people in what they want to do, because that keeps employees happy and therefore employers happy. So it's a lot different from my day. I keep saying how old I am, but movement from departments is a lot more flexible than it used to be. And it's something we've, as a company, we've recognised, and we're really pushing. It's part of our vision with career development is no ceiling, nothing, whether you're a man, woman, child, all of that. But also, if you're an engineer, you don't have to stay as an engineer. So yeah, it's something that we need to do to keep good staff, let them flourish at what they want to do.
I very much agree with that, in the sense that, a lot of our senior management at GMI have come from apprenticeship route, or have come through the ranks, shall we say. Very much like yourself, we've invested 2, 3, 4, 5 years and a lot of money into the apprenticeships, not just for the cost of the course, but actually all the mentoring, all the support and go around. The last thing we want you to do is to then get to the kind of end of that program and go, you know what, I'm off somewhere else. So we want to make sure that you want to stay with a GMI and so on. And to do that, there's opportunities to cross over different departments, develop it through your department, even pick up on even further education beyond that, or start to specialise in certain topics. So for me, what it comes down to, it's very much down to you as the individual, the attitude you have towards the apprenticeship. If you see an apprenticeship as a jolly, as something I'm just going to get paid while I work 4 days and go and enjoy college or uni a day a week, that's not the case. It's hard work, but it's very rewarding. And there's a real good career potential out the end of it for you. So, think about the kind of the frameworks you want to get on. Think about who you want the providers to be. Think about the company. Trial some of these roles before you kind of go ahead. Work experience, summer internships, anything like that. So reach out to companies. It doesn't have to be GMI. Go onto Google. There's hundreds and hundreds of companies out there. Give them a call and see whether you can do some work experience. Ask questions. Get to know some of those people doing the roles already. It's all about making the journey right for you. And that's your career. Only you can take charge of your career.
A bit of shameless advertising, but in terms of finding apprenticeships, we've got at Leeds College Building, we've got an open evening on the 23rd of February at our North Street campus, just over the hill here, and between the hours of 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock at night. And you're more than welcome to come in. This is our first one with employers alongside us. Some of the relationships that we've got with employers and with industry are fantastic, and we've innumerable case studies where students have joined us at perhaps a level 1 diploma and gone from there right through, and they're with us still on a degree apprenticeship, potentially with the same employer. So in terms of career progression, we see that an awful lot. But we've got some of these employers who we work with who are coming in on Thursday evening with us, and it'd be fantastic to see you there. And they will have vacancies that they're advertising when they're there.
Thank you for sharing.
Great. So we're going to finish up shortly, but as a last piece of advice, if you wanted to give somebody who was thinking about going for an apprentice one big piece of advice, what would it be?
Do your research. Do your research and give it a go. And that's where the work experience element comes in. Don't be afraid to ask for help and ask a question. We are all here wanting you to succeed as well. So,
yeah, sort of echo that. It's important you choose the right course and the right company and the right experience. So, yeah, approach the company, see if you can do a week there, feel it out. Don't just be attracted by the money and, this will get my parents off my back. Take some time, do the research and pick something that really suits you, because there's so many different experiences out there. So don't be lazy. Put the work in and find the right one.
Yeah, I would just say similar to don't be lazy. Just work hard. Yeah, don't be lazy. Work hard. I think it's one of the few industries, and I know we mentioned it before, where if you come into it at site level, at very basic level, and you work hard and you apply yourself, there's nothing to stop you becoming senior management, to stop you running your own business, to stop you becoming self-employed and doing it that way and becoming a subcontractor. There's nothing to stop you. I think as long as you can work hard and put the graft in, then there is no ceiling within civil engineering, within construction, within our industries, because there is a skills shortage. Every company is after good people. And if you can demonstrate that you are one of those good people that is willing to work hard and put the effort in, I don't think there's anything that will stop you really doing well in this industry.
Yeah, I would agree with what's been said. I would just go back to the application point of actually getting the job in the first place. So if you've got any work experience, use it, prepare for the interview. There's going to be quite a lot of competition for these jobs. So make sure your application in the first place is really strong. If you get an interview, really prepare for it. Take along, if you've got work experience, take it along. Take a folder along, show the employers. Really it sounds obvious, but put a lot of effort into it because there's a lot of competition. And don't be disheartened if you don't get the first one. Keep trying, keep going. I think I was at a meeting the other week, and 225,000 construction shortage skills in the UK. So there's lots and lots of opportunity. But the ones that stand out to these guys will be the ones that put the effort in and show what they know and how much they want the job as well.
Yeah, I agree with everything that's been said. Just to add to that though, when you're on an apprenticeship, your provider, your college or your apprenticeship provider will give you lots of opportunity to go beyond just being an apprentice. There's lots of competitions. There's lots of award nominations that crop up throughout the year. And I know certainly at Leeds College of Building, we love nothing more than an award winner. And you can walk away with a CV that shows you're a fully qualified electrician, but you've been to Skill Olympics in Russia, and you know you've part of the English the British Olympic skills team, and yes, that is a thing, the Skills Olympics. But yeah, there's lots of opportunities. So my advice would be, don't just be an apprentice, be an award-winning apprentice. Grab it with both hands. Make sure it's something that you want to do, not what somebody else wants you to do, because a big thing is being interested in it. It's long, it's hard, but it's massively rewarding. So yeah, good luck.
Great advice. Thanks, everybody. And big round of applause for our panelists. Thank you so much for participating and sharing some of your insights. I think you're going to wait for the next sort of 10 minutes in case people have some more questions and they can come up and have a chat with you. So if you have more questions, please do come up and grab somebody and have a bit of a chat with them. And our next panels will start at 4:30. Thank you.